Um, son belle expérience. Et qui ça, côté me dit, oui,
Qui ça n'a fait, n'a pas demandé où qu'a pensé, qui ça voulait dire, Pita, ok?
Oui, ok. Là, mon femme, je vais parler. C'était une belle expérience et que je pensais ma travail plus. Voyager en pile et ça, c'est une part qui te fait m'arriver aller dans des pays en Asie,
Okay.
Philippines et Myanmar, c'est l'ancienne Birmanie. Et ensuite, tu as eu une chance de participer en 2018 dans New York Fashion Week. Je pense que c'était une belle expérience. Pour côté acting, je fais que je rentré là en 2017 avec Ciné Institute. Ciné Institute qui c'est une l'école acting qui est en Haïti qui trouvait Jacques Mel.
Oh, wow.
And allô?
Ouais, là.
You
Non, I'm done.
Il y a dans l'école Jacques Mel qui gagne. Je commence là avec ma chaîne Fignan et je gagne des courts-métrages que je fais. Yes, je pense que c'est intéressant et c'est une carrière que je me lance là-dedans et que je toujours quoi que je fais des films, que je des films engagés. Parce que je étudié théâtre dans l'École nationale des arts, côté je étudié théâtre et puis j'ai un diplôme dans relations internationales, c'est dit. On a diplomatie relations internationales. Donc, je pense que c'est un rêve que je gagne. Faire cinéma partout à travers le monde et spécialement marché africain intéressé. Nigeria.
Ouais.
Et puis voyager, connaître culture l'autre pays, faire film. Yeah. That's all.
That's great. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Man, that's cool. But when I take on l'école acting Jacques Mel.
Yeah, Ciné Institute. Yo joué sur plusieurs projets. Donc, après 12 janvier, une musique qui a été faite pour 12 janvier, c'est que il y en a des gens qui te produisent.
Ouais.
Yeah.
Ça fait combien d'années yo là?
Ciné Institute là. Je ne sais pas depuis qu'il est là, non, mais là longtemps. Mais the thing is, yo ka bon 10 ans, je ne sais pas exactement. Mais qu'on y a là, yo campé parti.
Well, yeah.
Yo campé parti cinéma, ça fait depuis 2014-2015. Yo plus focus sur audio.
Ok, d'accord.
Yo focus sur audiovisuel et son tout.
Ok.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks. I'm gonna ask everyone like a similar question, and if you could translate a little bit of that, be sure for everyone else.
Of course.
And could you tell us? She's an aspiring actress, and what she wants to get from the acting, the commercial thing.
Oh, hi. Hello. Thank you for having me. I guess I just had some questions as far as with the best way to going about getting a good commercial agent and booking jobs. And then also I would like to know, what are your opinions of doing extra work? Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise. I appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Are we starting?
No, I mean, I just want them just to come out so you just get a sense of like what they
Oh yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, I'm definitely going to cover all of that. I'm definitely going to cover about agents. I'm going to cover about the difference between commercial agents and theatrical agents and a manager. Definitely going to talk about my journey as far as finding these three things differently. Some people have agencies that cover pretty much all of it, and they have a manager, and some people have separate. I happen to have a separate commercial agent, a separate theatrical agent, and an agency. And yeah, I'll talk about classes that I've took, schools that I went to, just personal experiences that I've gone through as far as my journey from Miami all the way to LA, and to being in a place that I am right now. And then any other questions that comes up, by all means, definitely willing to share my knowledge.
Thank you. And Andrea? Well, could you unmute yourself?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry, I was just having my lunch.
Okay. So we'd like to know, what is your interest in acting?
I'm actually not an actress, but I am a real estate agent.
Okay.
And it just sounded interesting. Maybe I can gather some tips on how to get my message across better on camera when I'm shooting the marketing videos for real estate.
Oh, definitely.
Hey.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's well, I'll definitely talk about that too. Again, it's the difference between the mediums of like theatrical and commercial agencies. This is something very simple as far as like how to sell, like, because commercials, you're trying to sell a product or whatever, right? And a lot of times when people go in for commercials, they have the tendency to try to do a commercial when really it's totally the opposite. When you actually go in the room, they actually want you to really act. Like you got to use your skills. But what's great about it is finding a place that is genuine. Like most commercials, if you see, they're a lot of fun. They're either funny or very presentable in a sense, because they want to show people genuinely, even though it comes off like a commercial, but they want to see people that are genuinely enjoyable while holding their product. Pretty much it. So, you know what I'm saying? So, and one thing that I love about the commercial world, one of my agents, my first agent and my only agent that I have, has told me, he was like, because there's this thing about you have to look a certain way. That's all a lie. Like he told me from day one, he was like, there's no such thing as a commercial look. There's no such thing as a commercial look. And I looked at him like, I don't know, man. Everybody I see on commercial look pretty darn good. And he was like, no, that's not it. He was like, it's the personality. And then the more I paid attention to that, the more I started pinching, he's like, you'll see all different shape, size, color in a commercial, but it's more about their personality, their winning personality that's actually making them sell the product. So there is no such thing as a commercial look, but there is a certain sort of an attitude or a way to present yourself. And then pictures are very, very important. In the theatrical world, a headshot, you're like, why do I even need a headshot anymore? The commercial world finally gave me a reason why I should have headshots. But not only that, but it's also for the casting folks, because a lot of commercials have different products, right? So if they're looking for somebody that looks like a doctor, if I show them a picture like this, they're gonna be like, but it helps them, because unfortunately, when a client is trying to promote their product, they're not actors, they're not artists, so they're just like, okay, we want to see the best version of something that could sell my product. So if you're supposed to play a doctor in a commercial, you literally would have to wear a doctor suit and show them that you could play a doctor, and they'll be like, oh yeah, he looks like a doctor now. You know what I'm saying? If I'm playing a fireman, I would have to put something for them to, at least something close enough. That doesn't mean go buy doctor outfits. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to present yourself in a way to make them see that, oh, cool. So what they do is they break it down into categories. You got blue collar, high professionals, and then you got like the best friend, and then you have sports, and then you have goofy, right? And then once you have these categories within your pictures, meaning like, so if you're blue collar, you know, you would wear just like, you know, maybe a flannel shirt and jeans, or like maybe like a construction worker or something like that. So at least now they see you for all blue collar stuff. If you're looking for a high professional, you just wear a suit. They could see you for all the things, like from a lawyer to a doctor to, you know, going on. Best friend is just that casual look. That's not only for the best friend, but it's also like, you know, for car commercials and all this other stuff. Like it actually, there is a science behind the entire commercial world, which I found very, very interesting, because I had no clue. I just showed up and I was just like, how do I get paid? You know, but the more I got into it, the more I learned all these things. And the one thing that I could say when I came in green, not knowing anything, what won me so many commercials was what he said from the beginning. He's like, it's your attitude, it's your take on when you present yourself, and that, you know, like, and your talent too. You're like he was like, your talent, you're talented, you have a skill. Like having a skill is very, very important, no matter how pretty, no matter how incredible you are, but you have to hone a skill, not only for the product, but also a skill of knowing like a camera, you know, how to handle yourself in front of a camera, you know, how to know, you know, which side is your best side, and, you know, all this stuff. What's a close up? What's a medium shot? Like, you know, if it's really tight on you, you know, they're seeing everything. So you got to be sure that you're on point. Whereas when it's a little bit wider, what you're doing with your hands, what you're doing with your body, like all of that, which I didn't know myself. I just fortunate enough, because I'm theater trained, these things just become natural to me. But the more I observe it, the more I'm going, oh, those things actually do matter. You know, the fact that I had training, actually, I applied to them without even me knowing that I'm applying it, because I've already known, you know, I'm on stage, I got to be this, I got to do that, whatever. But all these things change along the way when it comes to that.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for everybody, you know, showing up to our monthly meeting for the Haiti International Film Festival. And Bechir is having a masterclass on acting for camera. We've been talking about this for a while, but I think he definitely has a passion to teach acting. And Bechir is a Haitian American actor who plays EJ on TNT hit series Claws, a lifetime member of the Actor Studio. Bechir studied drama at Southern Methodist University and co-founded Ground Up and Rising Theater Company in Miami, where he grew up after immigrating from Haiti as a teenager. Bechir has performed at the Arizona Theater Company, Gable Stage, American Stage, Summer Shorts, Ground Up and Rising, Guerrilla Theater, and Theater 68, where he earned an Best Ensemble for the NAACP Theater Award for his performance as Malcolm X in the play The Meeting. And his credits also include guest starring in Chicago PD for NBC, Better Call Saul on AMC, Blackish on ABC, Grace and Frankie on Netflix, Fuller House Netflix, and The Mick on Fox. He was supporting lead in the Hallmark drama The Ultimate Life, and had supporting role in the American Zetro Life After Beth. Fluent in French and Haitian Creole, Bechir has appeared in 32 national and regional commercial. He was the inaugural grand prize winner of the ABC Discover Showcase, and he has won the Best Actor of the American Black Film Festival. Next, he can be seen recurring in the BET streaming series Bigger, and in the theatrical production of The Royale by Marco Ramirez as the lead playing Jay, the Sport Jackson. So that's, you know, his introduction. He's done so many things. So Bechir, I would like to, what was your inspiration of, becoming an actor? Because, you know, most Haitian families want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer.
Well, they all started, I realized it all started when I was young. Because when I was in Haiti, I was fascinated with television. Me and my brother, that was like, you know, our thing. Even though, you know, you're going to the like in black eye, there's nothing you could do about it. But we were fascinated, and we had cable. So we were one of those very fortunate folks that had cable. And so I was just fascinated. And again, back then, all the shows that we used to watch was in French. You know, French Prince of Bel-Air was in French, The Cosby Show was in French, but I was always fascinated with that storytelling. So when I moved to the States, I wanted to be a lawyer. I didn't want to be an actor. I didn't know what it was. I always loved performing and stuff like that. I love that stuff, but it wasn't part of my mind. I didn't know how to get to that. I was like, what is that? So when I went to high school, I took law and everything like that. I was doing mock trials, debating, and all that stuff. And then they asked me to take a theater class for stage presence, because they were like, look, if you're going to do an opening statement, you're going to have a stage presence because you're going to be talking to people. And I was like, that makes sense, but I don't know what a theater is. I thought they were talking about like movie theater. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. I looked up what theater was, and I remember just seeing a bunch of people wearing black being sad all the time. And I was like, I don't want to do that. But I had to do it just for the class. So I took it. And then next thing you know, the teacher was like, yeah, I need you to be on my play. It's a musical. He put me on West Side Story. And I was like, look, bro, I'm not trying to do this for life. I'll do it for the class, but whatever. So I did it. The following year, my senior year, he asked me to be in his class. And I was just like, look, man, I don't know. He's like, it's an easy A. All you got to do is perform. I was like, cool, bet, let's do it. Did the state competition. I did a piece from Fences, won the Critics' Choice. And then I did Grease, where I was the first Black Danny Zuko in Dade County. and then I was like, nah, all right, cool, thank you very much, this was great, but I'm gonna go be a lawyer. Literally applied for Boston University to try to go to law, and then but I didn't get accepted, so I decided to go to Miami-Dade and minor in theater, because I was like, well, I've been doing it for a minute, so why not? And then I fell in love. My first play was Moliere, Tartuffe, and I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, the Meisner, that's what it was, which is very familiar to Tartuffe. But yeah, I did that, and I was just madly in love with it. And next thing you know, once I really started studying theater and the history and all of it, and the ability to basically story tell, that's what made me fall in love with it.
And I guess one thing we want to know, and what was your experience being, raised in Haiti and transitioning to the US? What was that experience?
It was not, I mean, it was fun in a sense, but it was extremely hard because I didn't know any English at all. I knew like certain words due to television. I knew like frog because of Kermit, and I knew like just different words, and I knew songs. I knew every MC Hammer song because he only said one sentence anyway. So I was like, oh, I could sing MC Hammer if you want me to, but don't know what I'm saying. Criss Cross was another one I used to listen to, and I didn't know what I was saying. But jump, didn't know what I was saying. But once I got here, learning an entire language in a year was tough, because we came in under stress and whatever, like as a lot of Haitian folks come through here. But then learning English, I started learning it by watching television. So a lot of the shows that I saw in Haiti, they had reruns, which I didn't know what that was. I was like, what? I've seen this episode before. And then it was like, oh, snap, it's in English. What is this? And since I knew the scenario, I started picking up certain words. I remember the first word I learned was attention, because in French, c'est attention. So I was like, oh, and that was Cosby telling Theo, pay attention, boy. And I was like, oh, I know what that means now. So all the words that sounded French, I started picking that up very quickly. And then from there on, I started picking up everything else. And then I started watching the news to mimic the sound, because I wanted to sound very American, because I was like, I'm going to be in America, so I might as well sound American. So so at the beginning, it was like, hi, how you doing? My name is Bechir Sylvain. And people would be like, okay, I mean, you speak so well. But so in time, I started really coming up with my own identity as far as figuring out, like, how I'm going to sound as an American, because, the only thing I knew was French and Creole. So the way I sound French and Creole is totally different, which in the show Id, you could see the difference. Like the way I sound like now, and when I speak Creole, it's like who is this dude? So it was you know, just like anything else, it's a challenging transition, but it was definitely something that I don't regret or have any qualms about, and I'm glad that I went through it because it made me a better person. So.
And tell us, what was your experience of playing Malcolm X at Southern Methodist at the university? What was like your experience of playing Malcolm X?
I saw Malcolm X the movie actually in Haiti, and I was like, who is this man and why is he not Haitian? Because he sounds very familiar. Like, you know, like the you know, the whole resilience and, you know, like him fighting. I was like, who is this cat? So when I went to when I read his book when I came here, I was 18 when I read his book and fell in love. I just fell in love with him. I just thought this man is the greatest, you know, human being ever. And I was convinced. I was convinced this brother was Haitian because I was like, this brother thinks like us. And I was like, oppression, what? So when I went to college and did more research on it, I found out there was a play by Jeff Stetson. If you guys ever, please read that book, especially now, because Jeff Stetson does an incredible job.
Hola?
Jeff Stetson does an incredible job of painting these great leaders. And the show is Malcolm X and Martin Luther King meeting for the first time. And once I read that and really learn about his entire life and history and also what he stood for, and saw numerous footage, and I was at Texas and I was the only Black student in my class. It was very important for me to do that show for them because, you know, I was the guy that they came up to and was like, we're thinking of doing a Black show. What do you think? And I'm like, no, how about you put us in a white show? Because we Black already. So why don't you put us in Shakespeare? That would be nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, it was life-changing. I think that role really allowed me to really tap into what true storytelling is, and really, you know, convey a message, and to see how people were changed after the show and people were like crying and like really touched by the show. I was just like, wow, I could really make an impact with what I do. So that really solidified like what me as an artist and the type of feeling that I want when doing this.
And Bechir, what was the impetus of you actually, not only as a individual in your own career as an actor, of starting a theater in Miami for over 10 years, and being able to make that happen for 10 years? What made you do that?
And, you know, and especially like, you know, it's definitely changing now. Diversity is becoming more and more of a thing now when we watch television. But back then, you know, there was very few opportunities. So me and my friends, we literally decided to do a theater company because we were tired of sitting around and waiting for an opportunity. We were just like, yo, let's do it ourselves, you know, and we did what we needed to do. You know, we were young, like 21 years old, trying to figure out, you know, 501c3 and paperwork and all that. And we did it. Like we literally got up and did whatever it was necessary. And, you know, at the beginning, people thought we were crazy. And, you know, 15 years later, we were still going. But the emphasis was like more about not sitting around and waiting for an opportunity. And also we were the young cats in Florida. I mean, I don't call it Florida, I'm sorry. Miami, because Miami is totally different. But in Miami, we were the young cats that were dying to, you know, have our voice heard. Because you know, in Miami they would do like old school stuff, like, you know, they will do Tennessee Williams, or they'll do like all the classics, but all the new voices, like, you know, Stephen Ali Gerges, they wouldn't do it. So we decided, you know what, let's do shows that really speak to our voice. And so we just did that, you know. Susan Lori Parks, Top Dog Underdog. We were the ones that brought it out there because we wanted to do. They even tried to do. This is how I said it was. They tried to do Top Dog Underdog, and they did it with literally like 2 50-year-olds. I kid you not. This is how like old school. They wanted to make sure like the old heads were doing it. So we were like, that's ridiculous. So that was the goal, is to be able to do our own stuff. And then we started venturing off into film as well too.
And I would like to know how being Haitian has played into the roles that you played, because you played a lot of historical figures like Jack Johnson, Malcolm X, and just even your recent film, Id. So how does that influence your work?
I'm realizing more and more history is part of your DNA. I'm realizing that more. And you can either lean towards it or you could stay away from it, right? And knowing, growing up in such a rich culture and understanding my history all the way to, I could go all the way to like, oh, it started here. It definitely affects me in a way of how I approach everything. I always try to look at two things. Number one, I always ask God, what's my purpose in doing this? What does he want from me from it? And also, how do I implement my culture? Because Haitians are not the most represented people in the film industry at all, really. If you really were to think about it, you could probably name maybe 2 Haitian actors, and you'll name Wyclef, and he's not an actor, but that is out there. And now we're coming out more and more. Like we have John Ellis and we have Catfish. We got all these cats, these new cats, these new blood that are coming out, which I'm very happy for. But we're still to this day are not being as represented as a lot of other groups are. So it's always a constant thing for me. And I've been very blessed that every role that I've done, I'm able to put in, either if it's the resilience, or is it the accent, or whatever it is. I've always been able to put my little stink on it, because at the end of the day, you want to bring some of your truth into anything that you do. I think that's what makes it memorable. If anybody else could, everybody else could do a role. Like anybody could act. I mean, I'm not gonna say anybody can act, because I do not believe that. It is a craft. It is a work. But everybody has their own take on what you could do, right? Everybody has their own take on their character. But what makes it so unique, what makes it more memorable, is when you bring your own truth to it. And the ones that you like, wow, they're so great, it's because they're bringing us so much truth to the character that you can't not see them as that character. I always think about, like, Jamie Foxx as Ray. You're so mesmerized by it because of all the skills that he's honed his entire life. He's been an impersonator since day one. He's been a pianist since day one. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff was all aligned to make him that perfect person, the only person to play that role. And when you saw him, it was just like, what? That's crazy. But yet he was prepped since day one of all the things that he himself. So when he exposed himself truthfully, it came out exactly that. And, tweaked the little things that he needed to tweak, and then boom, next thing you know, Ray Charles.
And I'd like to know, like, what is your dream, like, for Haiti through theater, through film? What is your dream?
Representation. I want the young me that was there,
Oh, you sure? Okay.
That's why I got backups. You see?
Okay.
Boom. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Cut off for no reason. I must have been about to say something very important. That's why. The reason why, my dream for Haiti is basically representation. It always been my dream to see us in the narrative, and also to give the young me that I was back in Haiti to be able to go, wow, this is an opportunity for me to do something. That art is a possibility, that I can make a living and be proud of it, and not feel ashamed because I'm doing something that my parents don't want me to do. And also to really put, I used to say to put Haiti on the map. I don't say that no more, because Haiti is on the map. It's been on the map since day one. Boom, boom. Hold up. Haiti's been on the map since day one. And so my goal is to continue to make sure that people are aware of it. And my dream is for us to just be in one in the world, man, and let people know about our talent, and let people know about what we could do and what we bring to the table. Because We're the first Black independent country for a reason, and it's sad that not that many people know about it, and it's unfortunate to not being used in any shape or form, especially in a time where division is so rampant in this country, and also, you know, it's a culture that's beautiful, and people don't know. So, you know, I'm a product of it, and why not represent it?
Okay. All right, we're gonna share some of Bechir's. We're gonna share his reel and actually a clip from one of his commercials that he was in. Okay. But first, we're gonna share his reel. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, but
Okay.
I think you gotta.
This.
Hey, papa mwen, c'est la m'fête, c'est la m'grandi. Girlfriend, mom, look, I don't have time to have any kind of relationship, okay?
Mati, oui, c'est pas Monsieur Perry.
This, babies? How am I gonna have a baby if I don't have a girlfriend? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, mais tout à ces journées, c'est dans PlayStation, pew, pew, pew.
Look, when I have a girlfriend, I'll let you know, okay? Yes, you'll still be alive.
Bah, sérieux, mais ni qu'à mourir demain, oui, man.
Okay.
You know, back in the day, one or two of you would sell a little dope and I would just let that shit go. But now it's getting out of hand.
I don't even sell drugs.
Look, I really want to be in Brienne's life. The law says that I'm entitled to joint custody.
The law.
Yeah, the law, Jen. Biological parents are afforded custodial rights regardless of their prior convictions.
Oh, I see. So you studied the law in prison.
Well, I had to do something since she didn't come visit me. It's okay, though. I'm back, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Baby! Hey!
Better than me. The only difference between your family and I is that I got caught. My family's business is legit.
Oh, the judge's gonna love this. Maybe I'll ask for sole custody, huh? Lady, I'm actually bleeding here.
Hey, pinch your nose and tip your head forward.
Who's the nurse here?
Is this you, Carol Burgess?
Carol, I bet if you just relax a little bit, you know, lose a few pounds, maybe you'll be a little bit happier. More desirable, that's for sure. Just gotta get a haircut. You asked permission early today to pop off some cracker-ass gun seller named Nate. And tonight, that same cracker-ass gun seller wound up dead and ain't got nothing to do with you.
It's just a coincidence.
Well, I don't believe in coincidence, man.
No, Wes, I didn't do it, man.
But I hope he's telling the truth, man.
This is not one of San Diego's many convenient shuttles.
I'm really trying to have a moral victory here. I feel like you're sandbagging me.
Look, I would love to help a fellow San Diegan, but I can't arrest you with no cause.
You have cause. I'm protesting.
Technically, you're not.
Look, you can wait till the cows come home, but I'm not missing Christmas with my family. Now, you could dock my pay, you could fire me, you could do whatever you want. But I'm heading to the airport, and I'm taking the company plane home. And if you're smart, Red, you'd come with me.
Motif, man, I love those characters you do on stage, man. I like your mom.
Hey, Motif, tell your daddy that ain't our house, that's the liquor store.
My name is my cousin. Where is she?
She took off a couple of days ago.
Did she know something about the zombies? Is that where she left?
Why, because she's Haitian?
Yeah.
We don't all do voodoo, you know.
Power, the opening doesn't mean squat.
Anybody need a lift on a fire truck?
I need to see the product first.
Keep suggesting it, but nobody ever takes me seriously.
Hey, Google, turn off.
Stop sharing. Share.
Pixar didn't happen. My mom said this.
Be sure, which one do you want to show?
What are you talking about?
I'm beginning to show the mayhem.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm your phone. Stuck down here between your seat and your console? Playing a little hide and seek. Cold? Warmer? Warmer? Up, boiling. Jackpot. And if you've got cut rate car insurance, you could be picking up these charges yourself. So get Allstate, where agents help keep you protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
So you guys can see, like, he's done a lot of work, and he has 30 national commercials. So I would like, be sure to just kind of tell us about your process, or how can these actors or people, they can start to hopefully get some traction.
All right, I'm gonna go through basically like what one of the questions that we're talking about, basically like commercial and all that stuff, and commercial agents and everything. So when I first came to LA, I had a commercial agent. I had an agency in Miami. What I highly suggest is that, you know, one of the most important things to do, number one, is get really good pictures. I know people are like, what pictures, whatever. Now they're extremely affordable. Back then, we used to spend stupid money for that, but now everything is going digital. Now that everything is going digital. Go ahead and mute these people for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah.
So getting great pictures. Now it's very affordable, and somebody that actually knows how to do headshots, and not only headshots, but again, like I was talking about, like different looks. So you could have as many different looks as possible. So your headshots for your theatrical, you would have, like, you know, a dramatic and then a comedic. And by comedic, meaning more like a very commercial, they would say commercial look, which is usually you smiling and just being happy. But the other looks, like professional look, you know, or like a detective look, or sports, or anything that you could think of character wise. So the way that you want them to see you, I would definitely do that. And then from there, you pretty much would send all your stuff to all the agencies. Like you could literally go to Google, and what you want is, you want a SAG agency. I mean, there's a lot of non-union stuff. If you're non-union, it's not a problem. That doesn't mean that you can't work. It's just that you're going to be working a lot of non-union stuff, which is perfectly fine. Somebody was asking about extra work, and that's perfectly fine. That is one way to get to the place where you could become union and you could be SAG and start, you know, going in for the higher roles and all that stuff. So non-union work is not necessarily bad. Just understand that the pay is a little bit less, and also the work. There's a lot of work, but it's like you're not doing a national commercial doing non-union unless you get bumped up to a national commercial. But there's nothing wrong with non-union. So once you look for your agency that says, you know, union agency, it could be acting agency or commercial agency or theatrical agency, wherever you are, because now they're spread everywhere. Doesn't have to be from LA, doesn't have to be from New York, although eventually you will. If you end up moving here, you will end up having an agencies down there. And if you could find an agency, especially now with COVID, if you could find an agency that could represent you either in New York and LA while you're wherever you are, whether in Haiti, Miami, wherever you are, that's beautiful, because that means they really believe in your talent. And number two, that you're actually in the core of everything. But let's just start from the beginning. So like when I was in Miami, once I found an agency that wanted to see me with the pictures that I took and everything like that, I started auditioning for commercials. I got extremely lucky. The first commercial I got sent out to was a national commercial. Oh, well, was a regional commercial, which is very close to a national commercial. A regional commercial is basically, it covers a region. So, you know, if it's Publix will, you know, cover Atlanta, anything from the South, any place that has Publix, they will definitely show it. So I got one of those, and that automatically put me on SAG status, but I didn't know that. And so I operated for years without knowing that I was SAG doing non-union work, which is perfectly fine. But again, like I said, experience and journey and all that stuff, that's what's more important. Once you do that, then from there, you let your agent do your work. They'll send you out to an audition, and you will go in and you would either audition. Now you're doing all the stuff online. And I've literally had an audition yesterday on a Zoom audition where it's just like the regular thing. You come in, you say hi, whatever. They tell you, okay, cool. I want you to say, you know, this is the product. Okay, cool. We want you to hold the product this way. Something happens, you react to it, look back at the product, and then look at the camera. Something like that. 90% of commercials are booked by doing exactly what they say. There's a reason why my voice is getting annoyed, because people don't do that. It is the saddest thing in the world. You will literally book any commercial if you literally do exactly what they tell you to do. Don't try too hard. Don't try to put in some extra stuff. You are enough, because they already got that picture that you took, right? That shows that, oh man, we like this person looking like this. We want to see this person holding this product, right? Look at how I changed. You know what I'm saying? So they go, okay, cool. Now all you have to do is say, okay, they already like me enough to come into the room to see me. What do they want me to do with this product? And they go, okay, cool. We want you to say this line, grab the product, say another line again, and put it down. That's simple. You will be surprised of how many people go, grab the product, then say, and it's like, no, that's not what they told you to do. They told you to say the line, grab the product, say another line, then grab the product again. Simple as that. And you'll be surprised how that fundamental thing will literally cost you an entire audition, because you just don't know how to follow instructions. So if you got any kind of skills, listening skills, you're already like I would say a good 20%. I mean, no, I would say even more. 45% in as far as how to book a commercial. I'm not even exaggerating. Like anybody will tell you, like castings and directors will tell you, like 45% in is literally like, yo, I did what you told me to do. And of course, once you get the experience enough, then you'll start learning like, okay, cool. You could put your, you know, they'll ask you to what's the word when they ask you to put an end to something? They ask you to God, I lost the word. They'll say button. They'll say button that commercial, and a button means like add something else after, you know, you grab the product, say the line, grab the product again, and then that's it, right? So say the line, grab the product, say the line, grab the product again, and then they might ask you to do something else. And you'd be like, oh, and then I wear it. Hey, and they'll be like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Nobody's ever done that before. Or you'd be like, or you're like, oh, cool. And you do a little trick with it. And they're like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. That's called a button. You literally add an extra little thing because they trust you enough that you could not only do what they tell you to do, but you could add something that's going to elevate their product. And again, another thing that people don't realize with commercials, it ain't about you. It's about the product. Like you are the person, the persona that's gonna sell the product. So it ain't about like, oh man, I'm about to do my favorite jokes here. They don't care about your jokes. They don't care about anything else but like, yo, can you deliver this emotion with this product to make it sell? You know, and just like, for example, for your real estate stuff, you want to be able to have people that's going to be able to sell that to you. You don't want somebody that's like, oh, I'm a dramatic actor and I could do anything. And then you know, you have this angry person trying to sell you real estate. That doesn't make any sense. But so you would have somebody that has a personality that you're like, oh man, he looks really friendly. He's really cool. Oh, cool. Oh yeah. And then, you know, I'm in this house right there. And you're like, oh, you know what? I like him. That's literally what they're looking for. And every single commercial has different tones. And that's something that, you know, if you really are taking this seriously, start looking at all these things, and not only with commercial, but also with films, with TV, and everything like that. Start listening to tones. Start listening to, like, looking at, like, you know, what it feels like. Because some commercials are very, very high, like, you know, over the top, and there's some of them that are very, very real and very realistic, and you're like, ooh, I felt this. Like the cigarette ones, every time I watch the cigarette ones, I'm like, I'm never gonna smoke ever again, and which I never did anyway. But you know what I'm saying? So they go for real, like, you know, dramatic actors to do these commercials. So those are the kind of things that you got to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to realize, and then also realize what you're good at. What you're really good at, excel. What you're not good at, get good at it. That is one of the best things I can tell you. Like, if you're like, man, you know, that whole idea, especially now in 2020, that whole sense of idea that you're only gonna do one thing in your life, good luck, homie. You got to be 500 things. You're gonna be able to understand the whole thing. That whole notion of like, I just want to be an actor. Good luck, homie. Really good luck, because that whole thing is changing. That's why you see actors producing their own stuff, doing their own things, and creating, because now there's so many talented people out there. There's so many competition. There's so many great people. So now that it's opened that to other countries, why do you think the Brits are coming out here and taking all the roles? Because they're talented as hell. So you constantly have to study. You constantly have to be able to go, okay, cool. I know I'm great at this, but what am I not good at? And how can I be great at that one too? So that's a constant thing that you need to be working on.
And can you tell me, how has your training helped you to land these roles? And how do you keep evolving since you've, from getting your first commercial role to your 30, like, I know you continue to grow and push yourself.
Yeah, like it's one. There's two types of training. There's training at work, where you constantly are getting work and you're on set, and then you learn. You're like, man, I'm learning a whole lot. And then also this classes. I went to theater class. I went to SMU for theater, and I still, to this day, I still take classes. I'm part of the actor studio, the one that's in LA and in New York, the actor studio where Brando and Jack Nicholson and De Niro and Pacino, all of them went there, whatever. But it's basically, it's a gym. It's just like anything else. You going in there and you working out your skills. You literally working out your skills constantly, just like anything else. Understand, if you treat this like a job, it will literally be that. If you don't treat it like a job, it will literally be that. If it's a hobby, then guess what? You're going to have some hobby money. If you wanted a career, then you're going to have some career money. It's just that simple, like in a sense, but people don't do that because it's art, and it's like, no, it's like, no, but you got to take it seriously. Like, a doctor, once he finished, his diploma, he doesn't stop learning. He doesn't say, well, I know everything about doctor. I never have to look at my books. These cats are constantly researching, going back and making sure that they're good. You know what I'm saying? Lawyers don't be like, oh, I know everything about the law. Now I'm good. Things are changing every single day. And that's why I'm saying, like, and that doesn't mean necessarily, if you can't afford schools, if you can't afford classes, there are online classes. And again, the most easiest class is, there's so many books, there's so many plays, and you have a television, you have Hulu, you got Netflix. Watch movies, watch actors that you inspired to be, watch actors that are your type, watch actors that are not your type, watch good actors, watch bad actors, watch all of it, so you could be like, okay, cool. And then realize, okay, well, where do I fit in this? What do I bring to the table? And you'll get to the place when you start seeing yourself working more. You're gonna go, okay, cool. I've done this, I've done that. Now, what is my purpose? Where do I stand as an artist? Because most of us, it's literally like, just like any profession, right? You could be like, I want to be a doctor, but what kind of doctor do you want to be? It's the same thing with acting. It's like, I want to be an actor, but what kind of actor do you want to be? I just want to act. We all start off that way. All of us. I'll do anything. Doesn't matter. That's great. But at one point, you got to start understanding, like, the craft and exactly what you bring into the table. And also, it's like, okay, cool. And also, am I good in these sections or not? And like I said, if you're not good at it, get great at it. But there are some natural things, once you find out, once you decide to really go into the journey, that you're going to realize, like, oh, wow, I'm really good at this. Apparently, I was incredible in commercials. Like, I booked so many commercials at the beginning of my career, it was ridiculous. Like, people were looking at me like, what are you doing? What is your trick? what is your thing? And I literally come out and go, I just did what they told me to do. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing it was all the training, all the stuff that I've done since high school is something that's already in me that I constantly do. And now I'm applying it without even realizing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like an NBA player. They no longer try to play basketball. They work on their skills, right? They've already worked to the place of becoming an NBA player. It's a big difference between being an NBA player and somebody that just plays basketball. You feel me? Like, and that's what you want to get. You want to be an NBA player. You want to be an actor, and it takes steps. There are certain things that you have to take. You know what I'm saying? And there are certain titles, like being SAG is a very huge thing for an actor, because that lets the world know and all the professionals know, like, oh, yo, this dude has worked. That's your NBA card. SAG is literally saying, oh, you're an NBA player now. Okay, cool. What team do you want to play for? You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you don't have a SAG card, it's like, okay, you play basketball, you got some skills. Call me when you're in NBA. Simple as that. And you'll, you know, and again, there's a bunch of people that's in the C League, D League, or B League, or whatever league they are, foreigners that come in and they shoot their shot, and then boom, they bump in and they become NBA players just like that. But they hone their craft and they work really hard at it, you know. There was another question that she said.
Yes, and what would be your advice for someone's trying to break into the commercial world, for like a trying to book their first commercial? What would be your advice?
Be yourself. Be yourself to the fullest. I mean, you know, the simple things. If you have dialogue, learn the dialogue as well as possible. Don't really treat this like a job. You know, it is a skill. It is something that you have to be good at. And I would say just watch a lot of commercials. Start watching a lot of commercials so you could understand how it works. So when you do have the opportunity, you're able to be. And the most important things when you do commercials, they want you to be relaxed. You don't want to be. You could always tell. You could always tell the difference between a national commercial and a low budget commercial or a non-union commercial. You could always tell. Like, and they tried so many times. And they've done it every year where they switch. They'll be like, everything is non-union now. And then you'll see a drop of performance that comes down. And then they'll be like, we got to go union again. Because folks are like, I want to get paid correctly. And number two, if you want your product to be, you know, in a higher level, you need to hire some higher level people. But I would say just constantly challenge yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Understand that this is a process. It takes time, just like anything else, and enjoy every victory. Every victory is a win. So don't do what I've done, and I'm guilty of it, and I'm still guilty of it. I don't even get a chance to celebrate the victories that I have. You know what I'm saying? I've literally, I could literally, like, I'm serious. I've done over 30 commercials. It's facts. I can't even think about it. But I cannot say that every single one of them I celebrated. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was until like my 20th, then I was like, hey man, I'm done pretty good. And also, you know, getting paid is definitely a good thing about it. And that's the hardest thing, I think. You know, I could sit here and tell you about all the skills and all the stuff that you need to do, but the hardest thing with this career is, how do you keep your regular life when you're pursuing art? Because at the end of the day, you still got your bills to pay. You still got you got stuff to do. You got life with you. You got a kid or not, whatever. I don't know what your life is, but that's the thing. Really know your life and understand what you're willing to put up with and what you're willing not to put up with. And it's all about your lifestyle, man. And if you're gonna pursue this, understand the sacrifices that it comes with it. Never put yourself in a place that is gonna be harmful to you, but at the same time, understand there is a sacrifice. And be very, very realistic with this. You know what I'm saying? If you're sitting here thinking, oh man, I'm just gonna book to commercials and then boom, I could buy this Bentley and I'm gonna buy this house, I'm good. Doesn't work that way. The world doesn't work that way. And I'm a believer, God doesn't work that way. So it's literally about making sure that you are it's literally about making sure that you're in a place where you are being very realistic, and at the same time not putting yourself in any place that's going to harm you, and at the same time understand the process and being okay with it. Because one of the other, I would say, the other percentage of booking commercial, theatrical is totally different, but commercial life is literally the longevity. You just staying the course is another huge percentage of making it. You literally just saying, I'm gonna stick to it until it happens. And the reason why I know that for a fact is that, name me one person that's either won an award or any kind of award. The first thing they always do is either cry or thank God. And then when you hear their story and they're like, man, I've been wanting to do this for so long. And you're like, oh, this is not, even people that, blew up the next day, and you're like, you've never seen them before, right? Like, I remember the dude from This Is Us, right? And everybody was like, who is this man? Oh my God, he's so dope. And he's like, man, I've been doing this for 30 years. Now I'm finally getting my shine. And the reason why is because he stuck to it. He believed in his talent and he knew he had something. And if you're a believer, know that, your purpose will come. You know what I'm saying? Like God does have a plan for you, and it will happen, but you have to be persistent, and you also have to do the work. It's not like he's just gonna bring it to you. Like, you have to do the work. You have to. And too many people think, they see it on TV and they go, oh, it's so easy. This person just booked this again, and they only been out here for 2 years, and they already booked this. So yes, all these are possibilities. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying that it's impossible. You could literally come out here, somebody saw you and they, hey man, we love you. We love your look. We're going to put you in a movie. That's what happened to the guy that played Superman. The second time, the first Superman after the real Superman, because we all know Christopher Reeve is forever the best Superman ever in life. But anyway, that second guy, they literally saw him at a store and they said, you look like a Superman. Boom, picked this dude, no experience whatsoever, Superman. That happens. But then again, you go, where is he now? What is he doing right now? So as much as you want to be like, oh, I want to get there, understand what you're asking for and understand what does that mean. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you could get everything that you want, but understand what the sacrifice is. Are you willing to have that moment just like the Superman guy? Or do you want a longevity where you're constantly working until this day, like until you're, Sean Connery and you're being loved for all the work that you've done? You know what I'm saying? Like, so always think about these things too, because it is a lot of glamour. It looks fun, and it is fun. It is a lot of fun. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I know for a fact I'm having a better life doing this than wanting to be a criminal lawyer. I would have been miserable. But it's a lot of fun, but also it's extremely hard. And not only the craft is hard, life as an artist is hard, because you still got to deal with life, and learning to balance that is extremely important. If you got to take therapy, I know Black people will refuse to do that crap. Do it, homie. Do it, especially if this is art, man. You're gonna have to be in touch with your feelings if you're gonna be talking about feelings. You feel me? Like, do what you got to do. You can't, deny yourself from healing, and you want to portray people and give full performances without being fully healed. I'm sorry, do what you got to do to make sure that you're good.
This would be the last question that we're going to open it up to the audience. So be sure to tell us, what is your secret sauce of doing these commercials and still being able to do from television and film now? So like, what has been your longevity? Because you're not just the one, like that one commercial you did, or the analogy that you made with Superman.
I would say that's where the Haitian part comes in. I don't give up. I don't give up. I just don't and I'll get beat down, and I've gotten beat down in life and in this industry so many times, but I just can't help it. I just can't help but figure out every crack. I mean, I've done things that you could possibly I literally could write a whole movie about it. Like, I've done stuff to the point where, for example, an agency, right? I've literally broke into a building with one of my friends and leave my headshot in an elevator in hopes that the elevator would open and somebody would pick it up and go, who is this cat? And be discovered. Like, I've done stuff like that just in order for me to be seen. And you know, as great that's fun, but at the same time, it also understands that that's also not the best way of going at it. But I think, you know, the fact that I continue to study, the fact that I continue to always wanted to learn, and the fact that I don't sit down and wait and created opportunities, I think that's probably one of the best things for me than anything else, is the ability to create my own opportunity. I've always decided to you know, if I'm not gonna get this, then I'll build it. If I have to put up a show, I'll put up a show. If I have to, and also like anything that's out there that is free. Too many people, like all these awards that I've won or all these competition that I've done and I've won, it is literally because I've literally said I'm gonna do them. And you'll be surprised of how many people will be like, oh man, I don't know, man. I mean, you know, I've been doing this shit for a while. And I'm like, so what, dude? Like, it's free money. It's a competition. You're getting seen. Why not? So any opportunity, I take advantage of it, you know, and I make sure that I use it for my benefit. When I won the ABC showcase thing, they were doing a talent deal. And they're paying you $25,000. And I'm like, why would I not? And you understand, like I had two of my friends literally was like, man, I don't know, dog, I don't know. And then I did it and I won. Then the following year, they're like, yo, tell me about this thing. And I was like, you just had to do it. So, you know, and also I really honestly think my biggest secret sauce is literally my growth. I wasn't always there, but my growth and to my faith. That has been the secret sauce. From where I was before to where I am now, where I literally trust blindly, that's been as more effective than anything else, to be able to understand that, you know what, God has me and I'll be okay no matter what, and understand that I've put in the work and know that it's going to work out. Man, and it's hard. It's hard. And I constantly have a battle, but it's great now that I could recognize when those battles come, when I do feel inadequate or I do feel like, oh man, I don't know why it's not happening to me, blah, 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 blah. I always go back to the examples that he's given me and the ability to be able to go, look what of all you've done. And he's always been there for you. So, you know, have your moment, but at the same time, still believe that it will happen to you. Doesn't mean you don't have that moment. Doesn't mean you don't have that moment of doubt. But have your moment, but understand that it's just a moment, because the goal is always ahead, always.
Okay. Well, thanks, Bechir. And do you have a question for Bechir?
Oh, me? Anne?
Yes.
Oh, okay. A couple questions. Thank you for sharing it. It's helpful information. I think with regards to extra work, I think you said like if you're non-union, it's a way to become union. But what if you're already union? Do you recommend continuing to do it? Because I know in my case, sometimes people have been somewhat concerned with me having a lot of extra work on my resume. I didn't know, like some people kind of discourage doing it too much. I didn't know if you feel like if you're already union, what do you think about that?
Just the putting it into your resume, there's no point for you to put in the resume. If you're doing extra work, there's no point for you to put in the resume. Doing the work itself, for whatever the reason is, whether if it's financial, whether if it's just experience, whether if it's whatever the reason why you decide to do it, it has nothing to do with your career. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will be fine. Like, you could do as much extra work as you want. You could do infinite of extra work. But the thing is that when you start putting it into your resume and showing like this is all you've done, then they're going, wait, what's going on with that? Like, the goal is to hopefully graduate to the point where you don't no longer have to do that. And the fact that you are SAG, and I think now it's more of like, can I get representation to help me stay out of that? So I would never tell somebody not to do whatever is necessary, especially if it's for money issues. Dude, I mean, especially as a SAG actor, an extra work for a commercial, back then, I don't know what it is now. I'm sure it's pretty more now, but I think you were getting about like 250 or something like that for the day. And you know, it ain't nothing, but at the same time, it's like, yo, that's more than, you know, just to sit around and not do a darn thing. I'll do it any day if I need it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I definitely would say don't put those in your resume, even though if it's a really cool one, even if it's like, yo, I was an extra in Avengers. Don't put it in there. Don't put it in your resume. Do what you got to do for you, but you don't have to put it in your resume. And if people are like discouraging you for that, they don't know why you're doing it. You feel me? Like you don't need people like that that's going to try to bring you down because you're not following their path.
Yeah. Okay. So even if I was, say, featured and I was visible, you still don't
Say
think
that again. I'm sorry.
I said even if I was featured and like visible, like in the whatever production it was, you still don't think I should put it in the resume?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like if it's not critical to the story, no. You know what I'm saying? Visible, great. You could put in your reel. You could put it on your reel so you could show like, oh, look, I was in this, I was in that, so people could see, you know, like how you look on camera. But as far as like, you know, if you were in Avengers and you were that, you know, girl number 2 that got saved, that's a good footage with you with Robert Downey Jr. getting picked up and being like, oh man, I was scared. And they'd be like, okay, cool. But as far as like putting it in your physical, you know, resume, it's like, okay. And you know what I'm saying? Like they can't see it when they read it. Like if they can see it, that's fine. But if they read it, they go, okay, well, were you? And if you weren't, you know, like it's almost, oh, give me one second. It's almost like once you get to a place where you are about to be considered for a real, like not being a real, there's no such thing as a real, a higher role or a series regular or even a guest star or even a co-star, you know, they want to be able to know that you have the experience on set. And you could tell them, I have the experience on set. And what you could do with that, with all your experience as an extra, create your own reel. That's another thing that you could do too. Scenes to show what you could do as an actress than just the presentation of like, oh, cool, I was in this film, look at me in this film. Because the credit, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for your talent. They're looking for like, can she say lines? Can she react to certain things? Can she perform? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would highly suggest like not putting these things. I mean, if that's all you have, I would put maybe 2. You know what I'm saying? If you have no credit whatsoever, be okay with where you start. But you don't have to, like, if you have like 15 credits and it's all extra, just put 2. It's okay. And sometimes it's okay not to even have. If you don't have any credits, it's fine. You will get credit. You know what will get you the credit? Your talent. You know what I'm saying? That's where you have to believe in your talent. That's why you have to bust your butt. So when you do get that opportunity to go, oh, wow, she's really great. Let's give her an opportunity. You feel me? Because if not, you know, you're truly trying to run game with yourself because you're thinking, ooh, if they see Avengers, they'll be like, nah, they don't. I'm telling you right now, they don't care. They don't care with celebrities. Why would they care about anybody that's not even a name? You know what I'm saying? Like if you literally sat behind a casting director and saw how they treat, you know, and I mean treat, it's just like, it's the job for them. It doesn't matter how big or how small, they just want to fill that role. Who is the best person for that role? You can have a name or no name. It's like, yo, are you the person that I want? Period. Credit or no credit.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And one more thing, do I need permission to use the footage that I'm in for my reel?
No, it's you're in it. If you're in it, yeah, you could just literally cut it up.
I don't need to ask if that's okay.
No, absolutely not. Especially if you're credited, you know what I'm saying? Like you're in the movie and everything. Yeah, this is your face. Like, you know, they're not gonna come after you for that. You know, but the thing is, sometimes it's hard to get footage from the company. That's the issue, because you know, you'll do a film and you love what you did and you'll be like, ooh, I want to get the footage, and then you hit them up and they'll be like, yeah, and then years goes by and they still haven't sent it to you. So yeah, if you have a way to rip it, my agent literally goes to this guy that rips off stuff the internet. Like any footage, like if I don't have the footage, or if I had a show and then the show, like for example, when I did Chicago PD, right? Chicago PD was shown and then they didn't show it until like later on, until you had to wait. Now you can get all your footage anywhere you want, but we had to wait until it goes back into on demand to put it on. But he didn't want to wait that. He was like, yo, I love this footage. Can I have the footage now? So he just called his boy and he was like, yo, go to the internet, hack it, take it, and put it on his reel. Done. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays, yeah, you don't need to ask for permission whatsoever.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Andrea, do you have any questions? Yeah. For Bechir?
No, not directly. I'm just enjoying the information. I never considered becoming an extra, but maybe I will.
There you go.
Thank you so much. I think the last two definitely going to be probably in Creole. Sherry? Is she was there. Okay, we'll come back to her. Valerie? Valerie? Yeah. You have a question for Bechir?
No.
Bagay.
No question.
Okay.
Magdalene comment. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just really.
Okay.
And tako yung actrice bang for example tako souvent yung actrice tako ka integre marché internet
Valerie, não paga entendeu?
Valerie, service pas bon. Service pas bon du tout. Presque pas attendre.
Marché hollywoodien.
Well, make it tell her to put the question in the chat, please.
Sou capable, est-ce qu'on peut taper question parce que m'pas attendre du tout. Écrit question parce que m'pas attendre parce que il grand paquet de bruit. Écrit question.
Voilà. Sherry? All right, Bechir, since I'm not getting any questions now, so how can people reach out to you and support you, Bechir?
I'm definitely on Instagram. It's just my name. I don't have any fancy names, and every handle is just literally my name. BECHIRSYLVAIN, and just like whenever you guys see one of my shows, like Black Summer is gonna be a very huge show that I'm gonna be very excited about. Black Summer 2 is on Netflix, and I think it's gonna come out in April. And then of course Bigger on BET. You could stream it now on BET Plus. It's a streaming platform for BET. I'm on that, and then also on Claws as well too. So just follow me, give me a shout out, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty easy with that kind of stuff. I'm not I'm not that dude that's like, please show me love. And also, if you have any questions, one thing I know, like if you hit me up on those handles, I definitely will reply and help as much as I can.
Okay. And our last question, what would you say to your 10-year-old self, Bechir? If you could talk back to Bechir when he was 10 in Haiti, what would you tell him?
Bon, premièrement, apprendre anglais, attendez, parce que lors l'école, l'arrivée en 6e, il va commencer par anglais. Commencer à apprendre kounya là. Basically, I told them to start learning English now. Deuxièmement, continuer vivre la vie, man. Continuer jouer l'expérience qui peut arriver la caillou. Toute expérience qui peut arriver dans la vie, c'est un bagage qu'on peut l'utiliser pour artiste. So, Kembela. Basically, I said everything that's going to happen in your life, every experience that happens to your life, know that it's just part of the journey that you're going to apply into your art. Hold on and be grateful.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bechir. And any last words you'd like to say?
No, I mean, thank you guys for having me. And again, just, don't give up, be resilient and study. I would say just study the craft and don't be afraid to try something. You know what I'm saying? The one thing I always tell everybody or students or anybody that I meet, don't be afraid to fail creatively. That's something that's been stuck with me for a very long time. When you fail creatively, you're not failing, you're just trying something out. So don't be afraid of failure in that way. If you decide to fail creatively, you're not failing. You try it.
Well, thank you so much, Bechir, and just the same thing you said in Creole for our people in Haïti.
Pour tout le monde qui est en Haïti, premièrement, ça me dit que si nous besoin web, si nous besoin regarder, dans Instagram, dans Facebook, tout ça, c'est non seulement. Et dernier bagage que m'a dit que si ou seul bagage que m'a dit, sous pour laisser un bagage toujours essayer, sous tomber la donne, tomber avec tomber créativement. Ça veut dire que l'on essayer un bagage pour échouer la donne, échouer créativement. Parce que là, ça, c'est seulement on essayer un bagage. Parce que l'on échoué dans le bagage, nous toujours fâchés ou bien nous dit ah m'échoué, stop, tout bas ça. Mais l'on échoué avec un effort de créativité, laisse ça arriver une plus bonne expérience, laisse ça son bagage qu'on va essayer. So échouer creativement.
Okay. Voilà. I just want to say thank you so much for everybody being here for our monthly meeting for the Haiti International Film Festival. And this thing is really to help educate our community, Haiti and the African diaspora, because we're, just so we can be, more successful. And I think we're all, and Bechir is a great example of what he's done with Moun Lakay, not just as an individual and giving back to his community and being a host for the Haiti International Film Festival. That was great. And sponsoring some of our events at the film festival and him just, sharing his expertise with our community. So I just want to thank everybody for, spending the Saturday with us and be ready for our next one next month. But thank you so much, Bechir, and everybody who came to this meeting today.
No
okay.
problem, man.
Bye.
My pleasure.
Au revoir.